the man who wanted to be the first sport back and bring live sports back to the country, is doing just that. And we're delighted to have him join us as we're presented by Progressive Insurance. UFC President Dana White joins us this morning. Dana, good morning. Thanks for being with us. This was your stated goal, your stated mission. Why was this so important for you to be the first sport entity to really come back?
Well, first of all, good morning. Thanks for having me. I wasn't really on a mission to be the first one to come back. I just knew I would be. I knew we'd be first. Health and safety is something that we worry about every weekend, not just since the coronavirus. And, we always figure out, we solve problems is what we do. Problems pop up all the time for us. And the reality is, to make this thing safe, it's expensive. It's you have to spend a lot of money. First of all, you lose the gate. There's no gate. You got to be willing to do that. I don't know how many other sports are really into doing that. And you have to spend the money to make sure that you have all the testing and all the the safety stuff in place to make this thing as safe as you possibly can.
Dana, this was supposed to take place April 18th on an Indian reservation in California. ESPN and Disney asked you not to hold it at that point. Now we're 3 weeks later, and it is going to be held. What was the biggest difference for not having it then and having it now?
Great question. I have no idea. I could have pulled it off. I could have pulled it off then, and it would have been safe there too. The Indian reservation, Tachi Palace in California that we were going to, the people that live there on the reservation in Tachi, they got 3 cases of COVID-19. We would have got it done then too, no matter what. I respect ESPN. I mean, if you look at any interview I've done since the day we started this deal with these guys, ESPN's been incredible to us. They've been great partners. They asked me to step down, so I did.
And it's understandable. We're talking to Dana White, UFC president, and that you worked hand in hand with us as partners, and now getting to go forward in that way. You mentioned it is expensive to do the things necessary, but there are also differences that come up in this time period. And we've heard from some of the guys on the card, and we heard from Justin talking about the testing that went into this. So how difficult was that to set up and start to get? We know that testing in general in this country is such a difficult thing to come by at times. How difficult, or was that difficult, to get set up for the athletes involved in this?
Yeah, no, it was difficult. We've been working on it since this whole thing began. And, there's going to be – we have a fight Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. So there's going to be multiple testing. And guys who are fighting on the cards and people involved in the event will be tested multiple times with the actual test and the antibody test. So we're going to be a lot of testing going on.
Dana White with us as the president of the UFC. We get set for UFC 249. And you knew you could be first, and you said it earlier. You've solved a lot of problems. There's always been things that have been thrown in the way of UFC, and you found a way to work through them, break through them, or get around them. So now we're going to have the situation Saturday night. But do you feel any pressure to make sure this thing goes off without a hitch by being the first one out of the gate?
I always do. I feel pressure every time we put on an event for the event to be great, for it to be safe, for nobody to get hurt. I mean, that's always part of the of fight week anyway. So I wouldn't say there's any added pressure for that. We have an amazing team. We pull this stuff off every weekend. We have great doctors that are involved with the UFC. Let me just say this. In the 20-year history of the UFC, there's never been a death or serious injury in the entire history of the company. So, I mean, cheerleading can't say that. So we're very serious about health and safety.
And so, Dana, I'm curious then, because we know there's a lot of eyes on this because it's one of the only shows in town, but also eyes within the sport. We heard from, Conor McGregor's camp that he's going to be watching this, curious to see about the health and safety to the athletes. And just in general, what's your communication been like with the fighters? Has there been any concern on their part, and what's that dialogue been like?
Well, not just the fighters, but also the, camps. My employees, the production people that film it, everybody that could possibly be involved with this event. I've told, if you're uncomfortable, you don't have to do it. You don't have to be a part of it. And if you don't want to fight right now, then let's just wait. Wait it out. there's no season in the UFC. We fight all year, every weekend. So if you don't fight now, maybe you'll be comfortable fighting in October. If you're not comfortable in October, maybe you want to fight next February. Doesn't matter.
So we'll have UFC 249 Saturday night. That's in Jacksonville. But Dana, in the interview you did where you decided to step back on April 18th on the Tai Chi reservation in California, you mentioned two words that got us all excited.
Yeah.
Fight Island. Where are we on Fight Island? Because we have to speak this into existence. I mean, I think I've already bought the T-shirt that says I'm on Fight Island.
That's awesome. Thank you. So what happens is when we sit down and we start looking at, I always start looking at everything that can go wrong with your business, right? The biggest thing that you look at right now, no matter what happens with this craziness that's going on right now with the COVID-19, the hardest part is going to be, when do you think they're going to start letting people from other countries start flying in to the U.S. again? Who knows? I think it's going to be a while. So that's a big problem for us because we're an international business. And so that was where we came up with Fight Island. We're going to build an island, build the infrastructure on there. It'll all be built for fighting, and we can literally fly people all over the world and put on our international fights. The infrastructure is being built now, hopefully be done by mid-June, and I can start doing fights then or the end of June.